Well, we're excited to visit today about Gar Home Run. And I think, much like his name entails, he is a home run. And we'll step back to the fall of 2019 when we saw the first data, the genomic data, come back on his dad's hometown. Uh, it was information like we had never seen before. He was very distinctly different from the rest of the population. And as we look at hometown since that time, he's sold 130,000 plus units of semen. He's been very widely accepted, not only in the United States, but across the world for all the good things that he does, from calving ease to early growth to moderation of stature, but especially for his type and kind. And that type and kind is so pleasing because he's so elite for marbling and muscle. So when you look at the many thousands of progeny that he has sired, when we look at say ball players or whatever, you always, who's the next generation, and you can go clear back to Bob Cousy and Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain, and ultimately Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and then you get to Michael Jordan, and ultimately to LeBron James and Steph Curry. Each generation brings something new to us. And, with genomics and with the information provided by both Method Genetics and the American Angus Association, I can sit here and tell you very easily Home Run is the best son of hometown to date. He's the one. He's the one to take us to the new level, to do the things that hometown uh, did so well, and Home Run does them better. When you look at where he ranks within the breed for calving knees, he's obviously an elite bull for calving knees in the top 1%. Uh, Birth weight, very moderate, and hometown has a very valuable composition of growth, but he's just average to slightly above average for growth. And when you look at where home run ranks, he's in the top 5% of the breed for weaning weight and the top 2% of the breed for yearling weight. He has a lot more actual pounds. And again, that composition of his pounds is so very, very valuable. And probably one of my hometown's most needed and useful traits is his moderation of stature. And he's actually in the bottom percentile of the Angus breed for yearling hip height, whereas Home Run is slightly bigger. Um, he's a little bit above average for stature, but he's still not out of bounds. And so we think about all that, and we think about how that all fits in. It's back to my dad's philosophy of pounds in the right package, calving ease and early growth, and not getting out of bounds with cattle that get too big for most environments. But here's the real payoff, just like his dad on hometown. Home Run is really unique for marbling. He's a 2.31, obviously top 1% of the breed. Off the top of my head, the top 1% marbling for a non-parent bull today is slightly under 1.6 for marbling. He's 2.31. And then when you look at his ribeye at 1.18 and top 2% of the breed, that's top, that's opportunity. And so you think about that, and you think about all these things that you can do. And oftentimes I had another breeder come up to me and said very distinctly, "You're a terminal breeder," and I'm like, that's kind of final. I try to breed for all traits, and you've heard me talk many times about how we can have calving ease, early growth, cattle that don't get too big for range environments, while being exceptional for marbling and muscle, and leaving a sister in the herd that will replicate the process. This bull will do this better than any bull that we've had to date. And so when we think about that, and we think about, well, why is that so valuable? Many people have coined the phrase pounds pay the bills, and we talk about quality pounds pay more bills. When you look at the value and how pounds of beef is differentiated by the pound, it's marbling. And it wasn't very many years ago that Angus bulls with a 1.0 for marbling were exceptional. And that's still in the top, off the top of my head, top 10% or so, and that's still quite good. But we're headed for an average on all the bulls that we provide to be over 2 for marbling. And why again is that important? Last week off the top of my head, prime was worth 22 cents a pound, 1,000 pound carcass. Um, that's $220. The choice select spread has been very wide all spring, summer, and now into fall, around that 25 cents a pound uh, value. And we get the higher corn costs and grain costs. Um, Being able to hit those targets with less days on feed and still have that marling is going to be so critical. So when we think about home run, and I always quote John Crouch, and he quoted it from somebody else that I can't remember who, but like begets like. Home run is a son of hometown out of a Fireball, and Fireball has proven to be one of the great bulls of the Angus breed for all the things we've been talking about. The family, the Robbins family, Grand Bayou Farms of Louisiana, raised him, and I'm so proud for them and of them as such a good bull. But again, like begets like. He's by a son of Surefire from here, out of a dam, who was sired by Anticipation. These were the bulls we were talking about, Surefire and Anticipation, a decade ago. And I can assure you that we'll be excited and thrilled in a decade from now to talk about bulls that we can't even imagine what they can do. I don't want to sound boastful, certainly in our family's history and the Ogeechee family's history. But to be blunt, and I am blunt, this is one of the great bulls in Angus history. There is no doubt about it in my mind. With genomics, with the measurements, with the genetic predictions, he is what he is. And so, like we have said many times recently, he leaves day after tomorrow to start collecting semen. Let's go, baby. It's going to be good stuff. Thank you.